I'm Brandon Boner for On Focus, and last week we brought up the question about what might happen to Strohman Park in the event that City Hall is sold to a private entity. Will the park remain here, or will it move, or will it be abandoned and closed? We started to reach out to the family of Marvin Strohman to get their feedback on him, his legacy, and what this park means to them. We're here today with Lisa Strohman Schutz, the daughter of the late Lieutenant Marvin Strohman. First question we have to ask you about your father is, what do you remember of him as a child?
Well, I was 14 years old when my dad died, and what I remember of him is just being just such a wonderful father. Fun, loving, always, we went camping every weekend. We would spend time together as a family. That's what I remember about him.
Now, was he always a firefighter, as you recall him growing up?
Yeah, he was. He did other side jobs with his good friend, fellow firefighter Bob Colt. They would do window washing and put screens on windows and storm windows. And then he also had a little part-time job at the neighboring church where he was a custodian there, just volunteering his time when he was not on duty.
Now, growing up, him being a firefighter, did he ever take you down to the station, or did he involve family in his career?
Yeah, we went down to the station quite often. He would show me where he would stay for his 7 days on, and we'd get to sit in the truck and just, go around the department and see what was going on.
So being 14 years old at the time that your father passed, do you remember the time?
I do. We were at home, my mother and I, and our family just came off of a great vacation. So he went back to work the next day. We dropped him off, my mom and I did, and later that afternoon, she was greeted at the door by the chief at the time and said that we needed to get to the hospital right away because my dad was there.
Now, this was in 1981. It was in January of 1981. Kind of fast track a few years. 11 years later, in 1992, they dedicated this park. Do you remember when you learned that they were going to dedicate this park in remembrance of your dad?
Well, it took many, many years for that to happen. With the hard work of Bob and Phoebe Colt, my dad's co-worker and very good friends to our family, they were very persistent in trying to get some sort of memorial for my dad, being that he was the only fallen hero in Marshfield. So yes, when we were presented with the idea, we thought it was just a fantastic idea.
Now, before we started to have this conversation today, you showed me a book, and we'll have some pictures here. We'll pull on screen. But the community came out for that dedication. What do you remember about that dedication of this park? Leaders that were here and just the city that rallied behind the dedication of this park.
It was just an amazing day. All the city officials were here. Mayor Marvin Dewar at the time, Marilyn Hardiker was here, civic bands from around the area were also here, and just the overwhelming response of people that came to see the dedication was just something else to remember and see.
Now, this park has been here since 1982. How has this park been maintained? How has your family embraced it?
Well, it is a great honor to have this memorial park here. First and foremost, it's not only for my dad, but all the other firemen who have retired in this community. As you can see that their stones are there laid for them as well. Changes have been made. The master gardeners used to take care of the park. They are no longer doing that. We have since hired a private landscaper to take care of it. The yearly memorials are not happening anymore, which I understand. It's been many years. But that's really beside the point with that. It is a beautiful area, and it's something for everybody to enjoy.
This park has been here for nearly 30 years and has really become a staple of the downtown Marshfield, as well as those that travel on Central Avenue. With City Hall being up for sale, what's your envision of this park moving forward?
Well, I would like to see the park remain as is. I don't see any need for it to be moved. It is a beautiful green space for people to come and enjoy, so I really don't know why there would be any reason for it to be moved or be demolished.
Has anybody from City Hall or city leadership reached out to you and gave you that confidence?
No, not really. Several months ago, I was hearing things on the street that, yes, indeed, that the building was sold, and that at that time the park would be turned over, and that it might be lost through the sale of the building. So I personally reached out to one of the firemen, and he reassured me after talking with city officials that that was not going to take place.
And a lot has happened since then. As we've learned this last week, that the city is no longer engaging in those relationships that they were entertaining for the sale of City Hall. We're looking at in the next few months, I'm sure the City Hall will become back on the marketplace. And we're encouraging citizens to reach out to our city leaders to let them know what you think of the park here on Central Avenue and what you want to see done with it. We'll continue to look through and talk to leaders of Marshwood Fire, the Fire Association, and city leaders to get more input on what's taking place with the Strohman Park, which is the dedication not only of him and the service that he made to our community, but all the firefighters who have made a commitment to our community in Marshfield. I'm Brandon Boner for On Focus, and I invite you to continue the conversation with us below as we continue to look at this park and where it'll be for the next 30 years. Thank you for tuning in.